Let me save you 5 years of wasted effort and burnout because I myself did not grow up shredded. I did not wake up being more disciplined. And I definitely did not figure this out on my first year of training. I grew up as a chubby kid in the Netherlands, which is a small, tiny little country in Europe. And then at the age of 11, I moved to Canada. Huge culture shock, brand new language, new food environment. And for those of you who are unaware, the food in North America compared to any other place in the world is a lot more tastier, a lot more hyper palatable. And so, guess what happened when I moved at the age of 11, being a chubby kid from the Netherlands who loved eating food? I got even fatter. I gained a bunch more weight. I ate a bunch more food, and I just looked horrible. And then eventually, I went through my growth spurts. The age of 14, 15, I lost some of the body fat, the baby fat. But then I had the opposite issue. Instead of me being very chubby, fat, overweight, now I was that kind of weird, frail, skinny, fat person. So I have been on both of the extremes. I've been that chubby kid, that fat kid, and I've also been that skinny kid. And both of them caused me to be insecure, low in confidence. I wouldn't put myself out there. I would be shy. I wouldn't talk to other people. I would just live in the shell. So I know what it's like being fat. And I also know what it's like being skinny, right? And then eventually, after years of trying to figure this out on my own, I eventually built the body and the identity from scratch. So once again, I know what it's like being the fat kid, and I also know what it's like being that skinny kid. I've been in both shoes. And if you're a busy guy right now who is looking inside of the mirror and can barely recognize himself anymore, this video will shortcut the entire process. So before we get into today's topic, my name is Cohnan. I've competed in 3 bodybuilding shows. I have ran 5 marathons, and I've competed in 1 high rocks competition. And I've built a coaching company helping career-driven men drop 30 to 50 pounds, all without giving up their favorite foods or spending hours in the gym. And those are the 2 biggest things that a lot of people tell me as to why they cannot get in shape. They're either too busy or they love eating food. I cannot spend hours in the gym. I still want to eat my favorite foods. Well, guess what? You still can do that using our Barbarian system. Now, by the end of this video, you'll know the real rules of fat loss that actually stick and not the weird, trendy social media nonsense that keeps like just resetting you every 90 days. You may feel motivated to follow this influencers, whatever they post, diet plan, workout program, but it is not designed to be sustainable. It is designed to catch your eyeball and make you feel excited, make you feel motivated, but it is not built around an evidence-based, scientific-based system that you can actually stick to and where the results actually last. Because I don't know about you, but I would rather not only get a six-pack, but maintain my six-pack. Fitness is an infinite game, just like marriage and relationships is. The point of fitness isn't just to get healthy, it's to stay healthy. It's to stay fit. The point of marriage isn't just to get married, it's to stay married. Just like dating, hopefully, and a relationship and friendships. These are infinite games that are worth playing. And the entire purpose of the game is to keep the game going. It's not to level out or to max out. Like, no, the entire purpose is to keep it playing. So don't put finite deadlines on something that you want lasting results from. Don't do a 30-day fitness challenge. Don't do a 60-day fitness challenge, which so many people fall inside of that trap. They'll do a 75-day hard. They'll do something extreme. But it's like, by definition, you are quite literally playing or putting finite terms into an infinite game. And then you wonder why you keep on burning yourself out, why you keep on spinning your wheels in circles. Every single January 1st, you make the same mistake over and over again. New diets, new workout plan. But none of it sticks. And in today's video, hopefully, this will be your wake-up call where it actually finally sticks with you. So I'm going to walk you through the biggest lessons I had to learn the hard way, which are the same ones I now drill into my clients inside of the Barbarian Squad, starting with point number 1, or lesson number 1 rather. Cardio doesn't fix a broken diet. I used to think fat loss meant earn your food. So I had to run more. I had to burn more. I had to punish myself harder. So I'd stack up all these miles on top of the lifting sessions that I was doing while still eating like a stressed out kid in high school and in college. And now here's what I learned the hard way. Cardio does not fix overeating. It actually does the opposite. It makes you hungrier. Now, I use running and lifting today for performance and identity and not for punishment. Fat loss comes from systems around food, sleep, and structure. So if you're using cardio as your main fat loss tool, you're almost like building a body that only stays lean when you suffer. And that is not a pleasant idea to think of. Imagine having to suffer every single day, every single morning, wake up at 6 a.m., do your morning cardio in order just to maintain the results you're looking for. I mean, yeah, no wonder why you're constantly burning yourself out. Moving on to lesson number 2. Muscle is the real fat loss engine. So we talked about how cardio and relying on cardio is not a reliable way to lose the fat and keep it off. But what is building muscle. View your strength training workouts, your actual resistance training workouts, where hopefully you are implementing progressive overload and you are getting stronger, as assets, as things that keep on compounding, that keep on paying dividends for you. Because the more muscle you have, the more flexibility you have in terms of your food. Nobody told me this earlier, but the goal isn't just to weigh less. The goal is to look like you actually train. Every single pound of muscle you build raises the floor of how many calories you can eat without getting fat. That is why my training shifted from doing random Instagram style workouts to science-based progressive overload training. Don't fall for the gimmicks. Don't fall for this weird thing you see your favorite fitness influencer post. Stick to the basics. Stick to the fundamentals. Stick to the boring stuff that you know deep down actually works, but it's kind of boring. It's kind of intimidating. It's kind of intense. No one wants to be squatting. No one wants to be doing split squats. No one wants to be doing heavy rows, heavy weighted pull-ups. But everyone loves changing up their workouts every other week and do this new cable lateral raise machine or this new Bosu ball squat variation. It's fun. It's exciting. It's something novel. And we as human beings, we seek novelty because it keeps things exciting, right? But unfortunately, when it comes to building muscle, the basics, the borings, unfortunately work the best. And so what that means is instead of doing random workouts every single week, stick to a basic plan. It doesn't have to be super complicated. Ideally, stick to the basic compound lifts, your bench press, overhead press, squat patterns, hip hinges, deadlifts, vertical pulls, horizontal pulls, vertical rows, all these things. Do them for weeks, if not months on end, and try your best to either add an extra rep every single week or add 5 more pounds to the bar every single week. Do that for the next months and years, and your body will completely change. It will not change from doing these random silly workouts. It actually changes by doing the hard work that you're kind of deep down avoiding. And I know that you are, because I used to do that too. Like, it's scary having to like think about, okay, I just absolutely crushed my legs doing squats. Guess what? Next week, we got to do it all over again. But then this time, it has to be a bit heavier, or we got to shoot for an extra rep. Like, no one likes the idea of thinking about that. It is daunting. It is grueling. But anything worth having in life, it's difficult. There's a reason why most people are not able to build muscle. There's a reason why most people are obese and overweight. 70% of Americans are. And that's because it's easy. It's convenient. It's easy stuffing yourself with cheeseburgers. It's convenient ordering food on DoorDash. You know what isn't? Going into the gym, doing tough workouts, right? So once again, same lifts, same movement patterns, just trying to get stronger every single week. The first time my abs came in while my calories went up, I realized fat loss wasn't about shrinking. It's about upgrading your body. And think about it this way too. If you are trying to get a desired male physique, six-pack abs, all that good stuff. You're not going to look good if you have no muscle to showcase. I made this mistake. So like, I'm kind of talking to my younger self here. When I first got into fitness, I looked at all these people that are in phenomenal shape, but they already had muscle. They had a muscle maturity. And so when I first got into fitness, I was like, okay, like my only goal, six-pack abs. I want six-pack abs without realizing that I had no muscle to showcase for that. And so what ended up happening is, yes, I got my six-pack abs, but then I wasn't really happy with the way I looked because I had no muscle to showcase. Yes, I got lean. Yes, I got skinny, but it doesn't look as good if you don't have the muscle to showcase. So take your workout seriously. Take your strength training seriously, because without that, you're not going to be as healthy. You're not going to be as strong. You're not going to feel as good. So yeah, don't just focus on cardio. Focus on your resistance training and use your diet as a way to burn the body fat and not your cardio. And this leads me on to the third lesson. Six-pack abs, the thing that everyone wants, including myself when I first got started, they are a trap. I chased the shredded look way too early, way too early. And yeah, like I said, I got lean. I got very lean, actually, like single-digit body fat percentage at the age of like 17. I was overdoing it. I was playing soccer at the time at a very high level. I was running every single day. I was running during my lunch breaks. I was lifting weights in the morning and after school in the weight room upstairs in my high school. Like I was just constantly doing things. And then I was working full time at a farmer's market. My diet was very clean. It was very healthy. I was probably under eating a lot too. And I was just like this machine because I was just so obsessed with like six-pack abs, six-pack abs, six-pack abs. But so many things went downhill from here. Like just to name a few, I was always cold. I was shivering. I was tired all the time. I was irritable. I wouldn't be talking to people. And I was thinking, this is the worst part, I was thinking about food all the time, 24/7. You were becoming so food focused. And since then, this was back my first time experiences at 17. And since then, it's happened a couple times before as well. When I did my bodybuilding shows, like, yes, you are intentionally depriving yourself of food. You're intentionally doing that. And guess what happens as a result of that? Everything that I just mentioned: irritable, cold, tired, and food focused. It can cause a horrible relationship with food. You can have eating disorders. You're just putting yourself in a worse place. And it's so ironic because, at least for me, like when I think of health and fitness, I think of the opposite of these things. But it's kind of ironic how if you really want to get truly to that shredded look, which I don't recommend any of our clients do. I've been there, done that, don't want to get down there again. You're actually causing the opposite effects of what you want, right? Because instead of you being high energy, high libido, high testosterone, like what you actually want from getting into better shape, now because you've gone too extreme and too far with this, you're actually noticing the opposite, where you have lower testosterone, less aggression, less like oomph, less like willpower, like less motivation to like do hard things, right? So there's this fine balance here. And a lot of people will never get there because it's very, very difficult. So this is something that you probably don't have to worry too much about. But if you have that extreme mindset, something that I had as a kid and still have to this day, of course, you can definitely take it to the extreme end of things. And so here's the truth. Most men, like, you don't need a six-pack. Like, please, like, get rid of the idea that you need to have a six-pack in order to be healthy, because that could not be further from the truth. I know so many people who look healthy on their pictures, in their videos, on social media, but I talk to them on a personal level. Like, these are the fitness influencers that you look up to. They are so unhealthy. They are so food focused. They are so irritable. They're so cold all the time. Their libido is tanked. Their testosterone is tanked. What may look good in videos and in pictures does not showcase the full reality of what it actually is. So once again, most men do not need a six-pack. They need a body that actually performs well, that looks powerful and fits their lifestyle, that can actually keep up with work, their work demands, their family demands, keeping up with their children, being able to be spontaneous, go on travel trips. All these things that I just mentioned, you're not really sure you're able to do, but it just becomes so much more difficult if you're just constantly chasing this very lean six-pack abs shredded look. And so for my clients, the real win is having more energy at work, having more confidence at home, having the strength in the gym, and photos they're actually proud of to be in with their kids. They're not shy. They're not leaving their shirt on at the pool. Like, no, they're powerful. They're strong men, right? Like, that's what you want. And so here's the lesson. Leanness without sustainability just turns into another rebound cycle, because that level of leanness as well, like people don't talk about this, like it is not meant to sustain. Your body is quite literally fighting against you. It doesn't want to get down there. Like, that is why it is literally slowly but surely turning itself off, right? It's like, you'll notice like your testosterone, your endocrine cycle, like everything, your hormones will all tank, they'll all plummet. You'll even notice something as small as your fingernails will stop growing. Your body hair, like everything will just kind of like stop growing once you get down to that level. And it's like literally your body telling you that, hey, we are way too lean right now. We are way too food deprived. We need nutrients. We need energy, and we cannot sustain this, right? So you're quite literally going at your biology by trying to get down to this level. Moving on to lesson number 4. Protein is a non-negotiable. This one hurt. I thought I was eating clean on paper, but my protein was trash. And guess what happened? I lost weight, but I also lost muscle. There's a huge difference. I tell this to my clients all the time. Big difference between weight loss and fat loss, because weight loss implies that you're both losing body fat and losing muscle mass, whereas fat loss implies that you're just losing the body fat while maintaining, if not, hopefully, building muscle mass along the way. Which one do you want? Do you want to lose weight or do you want to lose fat? You want to lose fat. You don't want to be losing weight. You want to just lose the fat, right? And the way that you do that is by keeping your protein intake high, still resistance training, not trying to tone up your muscles, like still doing your hard, grueling, progressive overload, basic compound lift sessions, sleeping enough, and all the other things, right? Now, I set a very hard floor for myself. At the very least, not a day will go by where I don't eat at the very least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And I'm at a point now where that is so easy, where, like, I'll be honest with you guys, I eat way more than that. I love eating protein. It is a habit for me. It is way too easy for me not to do. So I eat way more than I should. I eat closer to around 200 grams of protein. And now, yes, that is overdoing it. If you're listening to this, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. The reason why mine is so high is because of 2 reasons. Number 1, like I said, I love eating protein. I just love protein-based foods, chicken, beef, fish, eggs, egg whites, Greek yogurt. I love all that. Secondly, is due to the satiety effect. I'm a huge eater. I'm a big foodie. Like I said, I was a chubby kid growing up in the Netherlands. I love eating food, right? And so to help me stay within my calories, I just up my protein intake, because protein is the most satiating macronutrient. Not only does it help you build more muscle, it also helps keep you fuller for longer, which is amazing, right? Especially if you're trying to lose body fat, right? Like, it helps you preserve muscle mass and it keeps you fuller. Wow, amazing. Everyone should be eating protein, regardless of your goal, but especially fat loss, right? Because it takes a bit longer for your body to break down and digest compared to the other 2 macronutrients, which are carbohydrates and fats. So the more protein you can eat, the more likely you're able to stick within your calorie deficits. Now, of course, like, you don't want to be eating way too much protein where you bump yourself up into a calorie surplus, because calories still matter at the end of the day. So you want to be within your calorie deficits while still eating enough fats to promote healthy hormones, enough carbohydrates to promote recovery, give you energy for the workouts and just your day-to-day tasks. And then, of course, enough protein to maximize protein or maximize muscle growth, essentially, right? So you need all 3 macronutrients, and you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're eating too much of one or the other, where you're neglecting the other. Because I also made that mistake where I thought, oh, the more protein I ate, the better. But then I was neglecting my fats and my carbs. And then I was still kind of feeling like trash. I'm like, what's going on? I fixed my protein intake, but now I still feel like trash. And that's because instead of me underdoing it now, I was overdoing it, right? So you find that happy medium, but at the very least, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. When it comes to your fats, as I'm talking about this now, might as well, at the very least, 0.4 grams of fat per pound of body weight. So just take your body weight in pounds, multiply it by 0.4. That'll give you your, I would say, minimum fat intake, because we all need fats. Avocados, nuts, seeds, oils, like we need them. Fatty fish, you need them for your testosterone. And then lastly, fill the rest of your calories with carbohydrates. That's how we like to calculate our macros for our clients. Very easy, very straightforward. And then, of course, you make adjustments along the way based on how they feel, because some people enjoy the higher fat, lower carb approach, whereas other people enjoy the lower fat, higher carb approach. But protein stays a minimum, fats always stay a minimum too, and then kind of the carbs can kind of play around based on your goals. So once again, here's the lesson. Protein doesn't just protect your physique, it also protects your metabolism. Moving on to the fifth lesson. Tracking is a form of self-respect. I used to feel my progress. And how did that go? It did not go great. Now, when I actually started tracking my weight, tracking my food, and my performance in the gym, everything changed. Not because I became obsessive, but because I became honest with myself. Most people don't stall because they're lazy. They stall because they have blind spots. If you're just guessing your food intake, if you're just guessing how much protein you're eating, guessing your workouts, you're just guessing your results. And I don't know about you, but if you're already putting in the effort of doing your workouts, eating healthier, living this lifestyle, you might as well actually get the results you're looking for. Like, you don't want to be half-assing this. Like, go all in, do what it takes, do what is required. And honestly, like, it isn't that much. And it isn't that like you don't have to make all these crazy sacrifices. And especially once this turns into a habit, just like anything in life, it becomes so frictionless. It becomes so easy, so effortless, where it's just like brushing your teeth. You don't need willpower to brush your teeth. You don't need discipline to brush your teeth. You just do it. It is part of who you are. Hopefully, it is part of your identity. It's like, yeah, I am a toothbrusher. I brush my teeth, hopefully 2 times a day, and I floss as well. It is just who I am, right? Like, and we want to apply that exact same principle to our health and fitness. Like, yes, I am Cohnan. I am the person who tracks their workouts, who tracks their food, who eats protein, who prioritizes their sleep, who is just healthy overall, because that's who I am and that is my identity, right? So you don't rise to your motivation, you fall to what you measure. And it's a bulletproof way, foolproof way to guarantee results. So why shy away from it? Why not take the extra couple of seconds to just track your food, to just track your workouts, track your lifts, to ensure that you're on the right track? Lesson number 6, fat loss is a lifestyle and not a phase. I talked about this at the start. Fitness is an infinite game, but so many of us put finite deadlines into it. We like to do challenges. We put like just deadlines on something that is meant to be sustained forever. Because unfortunately, as easy, or I guess as difficult as it is to get fit, it is way easier to get unfit. How many people do you know who once in their life kind of got into shape, but then they let themselves go? They got shredded for a bit, but then they now randomly have their dad bod again. It's like, what happened to that person? Well, they probably followed an approach that they did not like, that they did not enjoy, and that they could not sustain. Whereas you look at all the other people, you look at me, for example, like you've probably never seen a picture of me. I mean, before I got into social media, of course, but during my social media, like when I actually took it seriously at the age of 17, 18, like I've always been in shape. I have always just like been healthy, because yes, I made mistakes in the past, of course, like we all do. But the older that I've gone, the more I'm like, well, I want to keep these results. And so you don't really see me like letting myself go, unlike all these other fitness influencers who you always see them have like these crazy transformations every single year, right? They'll go on this intentional dirty bulking cycle to gain a whole lot of fat. And they'll tell themselves that, oh, like it is part of the bulking process. I have to do this in order to build the muscle that I want. But like studies have shown that, like, especially as you get more advanced, like you don't need to get that fat in order to build muscle. You can only build muscle so fast. And so anything calorie-wise beyond what you actually need in order to build muscle will just turn into fat, right? And so many people mask their lack of discipline with like, oh, I'm just bulking. They'll tell themselves that, they'll tell you that, their audience that, and then they have these crazy before and after pictures. But what they're really doing is they're letting themselves go. for half the year, and then the other half of the year, they dial in. And it's this yo-yo effect. Whereas for me and my clients, right, it's like we get in shape and then we just stay in shape. No yo-yoing, no crazy whatever. And it becomes it's so easy for us because we actually have the habits, we have the system set in place to maintain this, right? So this was one of the biggest shifts. I stopped asking, how do I lose this weight fast? And I started asking, how does the guy I want to become eat, train, and live 24/7 year round? What does that person do? And I think that's such a great question to ask yourself, especially when you're starting out and you want to start a new habit. Think of the most ideal version of yourself who ideally, hopefully, is living a healthy lifestyle. Ask yourself this question: what would that person do that I myself am not doing right now? Well, that person will probably follow a structured workout program. That person will probably do his meal prep. That person will probably prioritize his sleep. That person will probably like just do all these healthy things. And now if you don't have this ideal character in mind, just take any of your favorite like athletes in mind. And I used to do this myself, like when I first got started, like I did this without even realizing it. But whenever I felt lazy or unmotivated or just like felt like, oh, I don't want to do this, I would always just automatically ask myself this question: what would Cristiano Ronaldo do? I grew up as a huge soccer fan, still am to this day. Ronaldo was like my number one. I loved just like everything about him. Obviously, great athlete, great soccer player, great footballer, but like just his dedication outside of the field, like inside of the gym, his lifestyle, his eating habits, like he was like the ideal version of what I wanted to become. And so when I got into it, when I got into this healthy fitness lifestyle, every single time I felt like not doing my workouts or not eating healthy, I would ask myself, will Ronaldo do this? Would Cristiano Ronaldo really do this? Of course not. He would still eat his healthy meal. He would not skip his workout. He would still show up regardless of how he felt. And like, who knows? Maybe he would skip it. I don't know. But based on how I viewed him, portrayed him, and based on just like looking at him, like he probably did not skip as many workouts. He probably did not cheat on his diet as much. Right. And so like I had this visualization, I had this character in mind of like, okay, this is the ideal version of me. What habits, what actions do I need to take in order to become that person? Be, do, have. And now once you kind of think about that, you start taking actions that this type of person would ideally be taking as well. And by you taking those actions, you will slowly but surely start to become that person, right? And so don't just think about what you want to do. Take actions towards the type of person who you ideally would like to be more like. And by you taking those actions, over time, you will start to become that type of person. Once again, be, so who do you want to be? Do, what should you be doing in order to become that person? Have, now you have those habits. Now you have that identity. This is such a powerful thing that really, really changed everything for me. Be, do, have. Write it down on a piece of paper. Don't forget it, because this could quite literally change your life. So once I started thinking like this is when everything stabilized for me. I ate the same meals, the same training windows, the same routines. So here was the turning point. Once I built my identity around being the guy who trains, being that guy who goes on runs. Like, yes, I'm the guy who runs marathons. I'm the guy who competes in bodybuilding shows. I'm the guy who competes in high rocks competitions. I am that guy. I am him. I am Cohnan, and that is my identity, right? I'm the person who eats real food. I'm the person who eats protein. I'm the person who doesn't neglect their sleep and does negotiate with himself. Once I identified myself as that person, fat loss stopped becoming a battle, and it just became a side effect because of all the actions that I was willing to take and that I am taking now. The results, what you actually want, will just come as a byproduct. So just to kind of go alongside that, like instead of being so obsessed with the results, become obsessed with the habits, with the actions. If you enjoy your workouts, if you enjoy your meals, if you enjoy your runs, if you enjoy the day-to-day of just like living this lifestyle, you, my friend, are winning. You are already winning. And all there's left for you to do is just keep on enjoying it. And that is the game right there. Because once again, fitness is an infinite game. And once you enjoy it, once you love your routine, like I'm getting goosebumps talking about this right now because like I feel so like this is like what changed it for me. I stopped viewing my workouts as a punishment. I stopped viewing them as like this is what I get to do. This is what I want to do. Like I am voluntarily signing up for this. Like this is what I want. Like the results just came as a byproduct. Last lesson here. This one is powerful as well. Your environment beats your willpower. This one I talk about all the time. You're probably sick and tired of me saying this, but I'll say it to you once again because this could also change your life. I don't keep junk in my house. I don't rely on motivation. I don't rely on willpower. I don't test myself, right? My kitchen is built for winning. My schedule is built for training. And my life, like my entire life is designed. So the default choice is the right one. Discipline is not a system. Discipline is a system and not a personality trait. Like everything in my life right now is just so conducive. It is manipulated. It is constructed in a way that achieving my fitness goals becomes effortless. So easy. No friction whatsoever. My workouts done upstairs in my apartment gym. My meals are prepped in the fridge. My running routes is just outside, but in the park. My working environments is just right here as soon as I wake up. Like, it is so easy for me. So many people think that, oh, I need more discipline. Oh, I need more willpower. Like, no, you don't need any of that. You just need to fix your environments so that it just becomes easy. It becomes effortless. So here's what I want to end with. I wasn't always this guy, right? I wasn't a kid. Like I was that kid who was chubby. And then I was skinny fat. And then I was skinny. And then I was inconsistent. And then I became obsessed. And what changed everything wasn't a new workout program or a new diet plan. It was the moment I realized you don't lose weight and become a new person. You become a new person and the body follows. So start with your identity. Start with that first and everything else will follow suit. So if you're a former athlete, a busy guy, or a dad who wants to drop 30 to 50 pounds, all without giving up their favorite food or living inside of the gym, I made a free video breaking down the exact system that I use with our clients to help them succeed. And if you want my help personally to help you lose 30 to 50 pounds in a fun yet sustainable way, what you can go ahead and do is schedule a free consultation call with me down below where we'll essentially go over your current goals, we'll go over your current struggles and create a game plan together to help you absolutely crush your goals in the next 3 to 6 months. If that sounds good to you, the link will be in the description down below and I'll see you all there. Peace.